Hello tacticians! Today, we're going to tackle some of the most common mistakes players make in TFT, and more importantly, how we can fix them to climb the ranks. Whether you're just starting out or you've been grinding the ladder for a while, this guide is designed to help us all improve. And trust me, I'm learning right alongside you. This video is for everyone, whether you're stuck in Iron, climbing through Diamond, or even pushing for Grandmaster. These tips will help you turn those frustrating 8th place finishes into consistent top 4s. After all, sometimes it's just a few adjustments that make all the difference between dropping out early and securing a better placement. And hey, I'd really appreciate your feedback too. If you got any thoughts, tips, or your own experiences to share, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Now sit back and relax, and let's work together to make a space where we can grow and improve at TFT. One of the most common mistakes I see is players immediately leveling up to 4 at stage 2-1 without fully understanding why they should or shouldn't be doing that. So let's break this down. In most early games, it's easier to go on a loss streak than a win streak. This is mainly because you can always make a weaker board, but a stronger board may not always be guaranteed. What does this mean? Well, unless you are confident on going on a win streak, because you may have multiple 2-star units and or even items slammed, you're better off saving the 4 gold by not leveling up and maintaining a loss streak, at least for the first or second stage. And of course, if you plan on doing a tier 1 or 2 reroll, it's best not to level up to maintain the most optimal shot bots. So this is my current board state at stage 2-1. I have a 2-star Lilia, Hecarim, and Ziggs with a few pairs on my bench, and I can activate Bastion 4. For those of you watching outside of set 12, I take an augment called High Horsepower, which is a hero augment for Lilia, a tier 1 unit. So, in this case, what would you do? Would you make the goal to level up, or would you stay at level 3? Pause the video here if you need to think about this. If you set to stay at level 3, then you are correct. Despite me having a really strong start with 3 2-star units, because I took the Lilia hero augment, I want to stay at a lower level until I hit 3-star Lilia. So to recap, at stage 2-1, you generally don't want to level up unless you have a strong start with 2-star or well itemized units that can almost guarantee a win streak. If that's not the case, it's often better to hold off on leveling and maintain a loss streak. This way, you can avoid the back and forth pattern of wins and losses, which can cause you to miss out on important gold that you get through win and loss streaks. The key here is to prioritize either a strong win streak or an intentional loss streak, rather than falling into an unstable middle ground. Managing your gold and health effectively is crucial for setting yourself up for success later in the game. But even when you've mastered leveling, it's important to avoid following guides too rigidly. So let's talk about the next mistake, blindly following a guide. Another common mistake I see players making is following guides too rigidly, expecting the perfect circumstances to always align for their comp. Let's be real, TFT is a game full of randomness, and relying on everything falling perfectly into place is simply too good to be true. Guides are a great way to get direction, but they should be seen as a framework, not as a strict set of instructions. The game state, the items received, and even the randomness of champion roles will force you to adapt, meaning you need to be flexible in your approach for each game. For example, let's say you're following a guide for a specific comp, but the key units just aren't showing up in your shop. Instead of forcing that comp and hoping things magically turn around, it's smarter to pivot into a similar comp or play around the best items or units you have. Forcing comps can quickly lead to losing rounds, causing you to lose HP fast. In set 12, let's say you have Portal 6 at stage 3-2, and all you need is a Rise and Tark to complete the set. You even got Red Buff and Jewel Gauntlet ready to be put on Rise. However, come stage 4-2, you see that 2 other people already have a level 2 Rise, and some others have few Tarks. While rolling down, you don't see any Rises or Tarks, but happen to get a level 2 Karma. This is where you can pivot into Karma carry board, and despite not having a Chrono or Incanter emblem, you can still put those Rise items on Karma and build a better board around the level 2 Karma you found instead of dreading for the Rise and Tark you couldn't find. You need to work with what the game is giving you, whether that means changing up your comp entirely or using the best items on another carry. Staying flexible is the key to long-term success in TFT. The bottom line is, guides are helpful, but they aren't set in stone. Use them as a foundation, but always be ready to pivot based on what you're given. If you can learn to adapt to each game, you'll be in a much better position to finish in top 4 consistently. So now that you know how to adapt and understand how to improvise in TFT, the next challenge is understanding how and when to stabilize your board so you don't bleed out. Do you often find yourself saying, my early game is strong and I do well, but when it reaches stage 4 or 5, I burn out quickly? Well, this is a common experience I've heard from many players, and it usually comes down to one major issue, which is not properly stabilizing your board at critical points in the game. Let me put it this way. Imagine you're building a skyscraper. You have a strong first floor, and you use the strongest galvanized steel to build the upper floors. But if one of your middle floors are built poorly, the whole building is going to collapse. It's the same in TFT. Even if you have a strong start at stage 1 and 2, without a solid foundation throughout stage 3 and 4, like hitting key upgrades or slamming items when it matters, your game can fall apart in the middle and late stages. Stabilizing your board is all about knowing when to roll down and hitting those crucial upgrades. It's not just about getting every unit to 2-star, it's about making sure your board is strong enough to win rounds, allowing you to preserve your HP while building towards your late game comp. So don't be afraid to roll down if you're sitting on multiple pairs of key units, or if you're in danger of losing too much HP. Sometimes holding on to gold for too long can be more damaging than not having it. For example, if you're on a long loss streak and you're sitting on 60 gold and you're at 40 HP, consider rolling down to stabilize your board before pushing any further. The key here is knowing when it's worth spending gold to stabilize so that you don't lose your momentum. Remember, it's not about how strong your final board is, it's about how you got there. For example, you can hit a strong board like Portal 8 and Scholar 4, consisting of a level 2 Rise with best item in slot and a level 2 Taric, but you can still get knocked out because you only had 5 HP remaining. Essentially, you can have a strong start and a good stabilized board, but one minor setback might derail your game. In this case, it's important to stay calm and focus on the things you can control. Otherwise, it's easy to slip into the next mistake, blaming anything but yourself, which can potentially lead to things like rage queuing. It's easy to blame bad luck, poor item drops, or high rolling opponents when things go wrong in TFT. We've all been there, right? But while luck and RNG do play a major role in the game, focusing too much on these external factors will only hold you back from improving. The real key to climbing and getting better at TFT is focusing on what you can control. Sure, sometimes you won't get the perfect items or champions, but how you adapt to those situations is what separates the top players from the rest. It's about making the best of what the game gives you. Instead of immediately blaming bad luck after a tough loss, take a moment to reflect on your own decisions. Did you position your units optimally? Should you have leveled up or stabilized earlier? Could you have pivoted to a different comp based on the items you were getting? One of the best ways to learn from your mistakes is by recording your games and reviewing them afterward. Watching your game replay can reveal missed opportunities or areas where you could have made better choices. It's a great way to reflect and improve, rather than just chalking up those losses to bad luck. Spending your time reviewing your game, especially after a loss, can help you avoid mistakes like rage queuing. I know that getting into another game after a hard loss might feel like a quick way to bounce back, but it often leads to poor decisions and can set you back much further than you realize. Take my current situation as an example. At the time of this recording, my average placement is 4.08, which means I average about plus 10 LP per game. Now, if I decide to rage queue and end up going 8th, I'll lose around 40 to 60 LP. To put that into perspective, with an average gain of 10 LP per game, I would need about 4 to 6 games just to make up for that one bad result. Considering that each game takes about 30 minutes, that's 2 to 3 hours lost in time I could have used to make actual progress. Rage quitting doesn't just waste LP, it adds hours of grinding to recover from one frustrated decision. That's why it's always better to take a break, cool down, and approach the next game with a fresh mindset. So yeah, that is it for this video. I have reviewed some of the most common mistakes I see players make in TFT, and I thank you for listening to me and making it to the end of this video. I understand that some sections may have been a bit brief or left you wanting more detail. If that's the case, please let me know in the comments what you'd like me to go over more in depth. Your feedback is invaluable as I continue making content, and I'd love to make this channel a space where we can all learn and grow together. If you found this video helpful in the slightest bit, please consider liking the video and subscribing for more tips. Again, feel free to leave any thoughts or questions you may have in the comments below. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, or perhaps in the next game of TFT.